for joining this gathering. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of you, Hockey India, Government of India, and Government of Tamil Nadu, especially the leadership of Tamil Nadu, for inviting the young stars from all over the world to these two very nice cities, traditional cities and very dynamic cities of Chennai and Madurai. I think it was very purposeful initiative, and I would like to be also very honest and clear on one thing, that with all the stakeholders, with all those efforts, we were able to make this landmark event. Why I call it landmark event is because it is very first time that 24 nations are included in FIH Junior World Cup. Overall, it is 48 nations, 48 teams, I must say, on the road, in Santiago, in Chennai, and in Madurai. So it is quite, for me, it's a historical moment, and I praise it because it is part of the FIH engagement and empowerment initiative. It was not, it was in fact the idea was challenged in the beginning, that it will be very difficult for emerging nations to be part of it. And I tell you, we normally have one or two withdrawals even from the World Cup, Senior World Cup, sometime in Nations Cup, but this was a unique tournament that we had a very successful lineup together in Chile and India. To me, it is more than a hockey event. It is, people are looking at results, people are looking at what will be the final lineup for semi-finals and finals. But I see other values. Those young stars, especially around 6 to 7 nations, were first time part of the FIH Junior World Cup. And those young people with their parents. There are a lot of parents around in this event. I saw them in Madurai, I saw them here, I also know in Chile. Can you feel what will be their emotions when they are listening to their national anthem, standing in front of the national anthem? And parents are so proud that because of their son, they have to stand for the national anthem there. So this is something more than hockey itself, more than sports itself. And I must say, to facilitate 24 teams in one city or in two cities, it is a huge operation. We have to work with many, many operational areas. And for that, I think the local organizing committee, led by our friend Mr. Segal, Member Secretary, and then also Mr. Misra, that they have done fantastic. And my full gratitude goes to Hockey India and their leadership for making this happen. That is one part of it. Second, I would like to inform you that from the engagement process, today we have now around 36 nations across the world part of the FIH events with the initiative of Nations Cup, with the initiatives of Nations Cup 2, and now 24 teams in the Junior World Cup, men and women. So this was part of my strategy, which I always was the ambassador for development, and I think this is a great thing, a fresh air to me, that we are looking at these initiatives from FIH. Some important words for Tamil Nadu government, our dear friends, Chief Minister, His Excellency, and Deputy Chief Minister in particular, for his dynamic leadership. That how close he is to the sports, especially to hockey. And I think these kind of leadership are more important for future, for our younger generations in future. How we can see future champions. So my full gratitude on behalf of FIH to the leadership of Tamil Nadu, to the leadership of hockey here, and of course Tamil Nadu Hockey Association. They deserve much more than what we can express in words. One last comment to our partners, our all the sponsors who help us to make this event happen, and they joined us to make welcoming the young stars of the world. So my introduction really only emphasized about the FIH empowerment and engagement, plus my gratitude towards the important stakeholders, and also a special thanks to some stakeholders who are behind the scenes working, like Bharat University. There are thousands of volunteers working in this event. Not only that, but they also were attached to your semi-final quarterfinals yesterday, and made these stands also looks much better than the last week. Yeah, I think it is. The weather was also something. So you don't feel it now. You see today is a better, good weather because last week was not. So that's the only difference. So I think hopefully things will go, and I wish all the best for the remaining days of this FIH World. And finally, thanks to you for taking time and attending this session.
Thank you.
Nicola. Back to you.
Thank you, Presidents. Now the floor is yours. Who takes the first question? So I see.
Nicolas. Ikram.
I just wanted to ask you two questions. In the sense, I've seen in this World Cup, most of the matches, 80%, I've seen you have employed a umpires, one female and one male. 80% of the matches I'm talking about. Yesterday was a different case in India, man umpires were there. Is it a part of gender equality on part of FIH or something like that? Another question after that.
Well, I think it's a part of empowerment and engagement, and that is we are also leading a very important program about the women empowerment and women in sports, and that's I think you know already. Paris Olympic was also a gender equality from Olympic point of view, but from FIH, we were the first international federation that we have 50-50% gender equality in all terms, not only athletes, but the officials, technical officials, umpires, administrators, and volunteers. So yes, that is already part of it. We do, and we started from the Paris Olympics already.
It will keep on going.
It will go. It will be more. You will see it is happening more and more.
सर यूरोपियन अगर हॉकी को देखा जाए तो काफ़ी इम्प्रूव किए हैं. इस तरह से एशियन में अंडर 18 बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स के लिए क्या माइंडसेट है, क्या टूर्नामेंट है आगे का जाके आगे जो कि आप उसको स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं?
Well, I think this is happening. You know that it was the first ever tournament for under 18 Asia happened in Nadu, China last year. Okay, I think this year. Yeah, this year. And things are there now from the grassroots level. In fact, on that series of tournaments now happening in Asia are much more than before. And I think that will create a pathway and you will see things change. That's very important question. Thank you.
Just wanted to ask you something. India has always been a big market for any sports, for the matter of time. Hockey was always there since the last decade and now. India has even sponsors of everything. So what is the pathway in the sense you are talking about pathway right now? So India, apart you know India are the biggest sponsors. In the future, what do you see? What do you foresee for India? And what do you plan for India for future international tournaments? Any tournaments lined up for India in future? Anything you have planned out? Anything for India?
No, I think India is not less than events anyway. I think they are hosting more tournaments. If you speak about hockey, I think that is something which we see the good initiatives done by Hockey India, and there are more and more events. Events that does not come automatically. There are some bidding process, that there are some special interest to it and efforts, and I think India deserves those kind of things. And of course, the leading up towards the next multi-events, now India was allocated already the Commonwealth Games. Okay, so I think building to that, there will be more interest in all events, hockey and other sports. Yeah.
President, now that you have raised the
With the mic, please. With the mic, we are recording. Thank you.
now that hello, now that you have raised the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister, can you see more global events in Tamil Nadu for coming years?
Yes, I think they have in their plans more sporting events. I think there was a squash championship, and I think in the coming week there is another squash event coming in here. So there are more sporting events, but I think if Tamil Nadu is coming up with another event bidding process, FIH will be very happy to come back to Tamil Nadu. I think we got a very good partner here. That they really are close to the sport, and they are helping all the young athletes. And they have also a massive potential state government program for the young athletes. Thank you.
Okay, we are starting with semi-finals. Is there any feedback talking about or any player or matches you think have played a great role in terms of, and the logistic the team must be appreciating about? So your thoughts overall, the experience from the 24 other nations playing, just not from India, but feedback from international teams.
We have very positive feedback, I must say. Logistics, event organization is not full of always easy and even. There are some challenges, of course. Okay, so there are also some adjustments, but I think it is also the first event to have 24 teams in one country. So we see a very good positive feedback, especially from the parents. Okay? They are very happy. But of course, there are certain teams, even in the Olympic Games or in the Asian Games, there are some up and down. And I think most importantly, we have to see in most of the functional areas, the local organizing committee reacted very fast, and they resolved all those issues. So far it's very positive, and I am looking forward to a more successful day in front.
Now with this being a age group development, are there any general process in FIH to check for the overhead issues? Is there any process?
Sorry.
Being an age group tournament, are there any procedures set in place by FIH to check the overhead issues?
Well, I think it is across all sports, there are these kind of comments. Okay? It's very difficult to say and to challenge the national identity. Okay? Now there are some organizations already working itself. The digitalization all over Asia, Africa, and Europe is already there. That already helped a lot to control that thing. One thing. Second, we have EMS. Alright? If someone is playing a very first tournament, okay, So that's something which is different for us. But otherwise, this is already a well-controlled mechanism now. I don't think we can do traditionally 10, 20 years before what was happening. It is not part of it at this moment.
Next question, please. Yes.
Hello, President. My name is Kaushik Chakraborty and I work for sportsandspin.com. First of all, welcome to India. And my question is that we have seen FIH tournaments before. Now in Chennai, before there was in Bhubaneswar, Rourkela, or even in Lucknow as well. But you know that Kolkata, during some time, Kolkata has gifted lots of legendary players, and one of the oldest tournament in hockey in this country, Vedanta, organized there. This is one of the oldest from 1895, if I am not wrong. So, do you have any plan to spread out this game in the far east, like in Kolkata or West Bengal?
Well, I think we were in discussions last time in Rourkela with that Bengal state officials, and they have some plans. I think Hockey India is also concentrating on that part, and I believe it is first is a role to open the door for our Hockey India, and I think they are already in touch with them. And I know Bengal very well, and I think it is something very important to recognize their services and go back with big events. That I think FIH will be fully supportive to go to Bengal.
Thank you, sir.
So I have one more question. What are the FIH key takeaways that will influence future Junior World Cup or any other tournament?
There was more info than there was.
I'm saying what is the FIH key takeaway from this edition of the tournament for future influence of Junior World Cup or other tournaments?
Yeah, I think if I will not surprise you, I don't want to double the number from 24 to 48, but this is a very positive feedback from this tournament that we can bridge the performance gap and we can bring the emerging nations to the World Cup level. So it is not something which was a dream before. Okay. So one thing is that, and second, I think capacity building. It is another takeaway for us that the cities like Madurai and Chennai can host these events. So it will be very good assessment for us for future hosts and their capacity. I think that is a second important thing. And third, which we would like to see that how best we can market and promote our events for future. That is something which we still need to do some work on, and I think you know about it. One last question. Yes.
You go.
May I? Okay, you go.
Hello, sir. I'm so sure that you follow, like you mentioned, the other sports. And in the last Olympics, the World Athletics made a great move by giving back cash prizes to the medalists at the Olympics. And they said we hope the other sporting associations follow as well. Is this something in your radar as well in the future? To kind of give away cash prizes to the medalists at the Olympics, or even let's say the Junior World Cup?
Well, I think it is always good to reward our athletes. Okay, the Olympic thing from the World Athletics was their own initiative. So I think some of the international federations felt that maybe that was a standalone initiative from them, and it is not a combined effort from everybody. And I think the main stakeholder ownership of the Olympic Games is with the International Olympic Committee, and we need to respect their rules and their initiatives. Okay. Olympic itself is a great reward. To be an Olympian is a great reward itself. Second, about the athlete side, it is very important for us. And that's also a good message from the International Federation that it is one of the most important initiatives we did, that we blocked the window for Hockey India. Recently, I was looking at one of the Belgium team who raised these questions about different issues, calendars and this. And he made a comment in this letter to me that he cannot win that much of money for the whole season or 1 or 2 seasons, but he can gain in Hockey India in 1 month league. So those kind of things, I think we should encourage more leagues, more initiatives for the athletes on that. So also our colleague, we whatever circumstances that we are trying our best to help the winners of the Pro League as well. So Pro League is a great tournament, but we need to make it really pro. Okay, that was your question.
The last 2 questions before the match starts.
Mine is a double question. This question. First part, after the experience of those tournaments, what's the reaction of countries? Would they like to host 24 teams again? There are more and more countries are willing to, are liking the idea. It will continue to be a 24 nation tournament. Second part, on the development front, more and more nations are now playing in FIH events. Your Nations Cup, second round tournament as well. Are you planning to add a third run as well in your international competition structure?
Well, I think I take your second question first. That the increasing the number of Nations Cup 2 and Nations Cup, maybe that will help. Instead of taking third tier tournament, Nations Cup 3 or something. So it's better to increase 4 or 6 teams in the existing tournament will help a little bit. So for that, there will be in the first quarter of 2026 a massive consultation with all the stakeholders. We had 2 or 3 very comprehensive consultation online with 40 plus countries before we introduce Nations Cup. And we will do the same to increase the number in Nations Cup and Nations Cup. That is one. So I think that will help and cover a little bit more events. About the bidding of Gold 24 teams, I think we have cities have much more bigger capacity than 24 teams. So I think you can already see that there are 27 Junior World Cup. We have 5 to 6 very serious bids already in place. And they are looking at the bidding documents which says that there will be 24 teams by each gender. And we are, some prominent and big nations are trying to get that tournament in 27.
So, yeah, just one last question. We are just talking about 24 teams. This is the first time 24 teams were introduced in Junior World Cup. And Senior World Cup, we have 16 teams to compete. Do the FIH have any plans to increase the number of teams in the Senior World Cup to 24 or something in future?
I think I repeatedly mentioned before, for the Senior World Cup, we need to look at different aspects. If you ask me today, we are not ready yet. Because that is also...
Any reason behind it?
I think it is, you see, the top nations who are already playing in Pro League and teams in the World Cup who are not playing in the Pro League. And you see already the gap of performance is there. And if you add more 8 teams into it, that we also need to see a reasonable competitive level. About the hosting and the bidding capacity, I think we are ready. But we have to see other aspects also. We have to market our sport. We have to sell our great performance of our athletes. So that is also a part of it. This one is not only a competition, this is also a development process for our young stars in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.